I'm Katie, we are the group number 4, and today in this video we're going to present the Unit 6, Semantics, Pragmatics, Principles and Futures. This is our group, a fundamental semantic concept. Semantic is the branch of linguistics that study the meanings of the words, phrases, and sentences. Pragmatics, on the other hand, study how meanings change depending on the context, the speaker intention, and the situation. Sound's fundamental semantic concept includes meaning, reference, sense, and ambiguity. These concepts help us to understand how language expresses idea and how people interpreted the messages.
Semantics explains how we understand meaning. Thanks to compatibility, we understand sentences by combined word meanings. A reference shows that words connect to real things or ideas. However, ambiguity happens when one expressions have more than one meaning, and so context is important to understand correctly.
Compositionality in the idea that we understand the meaning of a sentence by combining the meaning of a word with the words and organize in the sentence. It is important because it helps you understand the meaning of new sentence even if we have never heard the before. It also shows that both the meaning of words, the lexicon, and the sentence structure syntax are necessary to understand language correctly.
Now let's talk about why compositionality is important. It explains three many ideas about how we use language. Infinite generation. First, infinite generation. This means we have a limit of words in our head, but we can create infinite sentences. We can understand and say new things every day. Learnability. Second, learnability. Think about children. They don't memorize millions of sentences. They only learn a small group of words and grammar rules. With that, they can speak a whole language. Systematicity. There's third systematicity. Language has a logical system. For example, if you understand the dog beat the man, you automatically understand the man beat the dog. You don't need to learn the second sentence because your brain already knows the rules.
Meaning and context. When we communicate, understanding a message is not only about knowing the words. It also depends on the situation where the message happens and the intention behind it. In other words, the same sentence can change its meaning depending on who says it, when it is said, and why it is said. For example, if someone says, "It's cold in here," this cold simply be a comment about the temperature. However, in a different situation, it could be an indirect way to ask someone to close a window. This shows how context influences interpretation. This concept is very useful because it helps us understand what people really mean, even when they are not being direct. It also allows us to communicate more effectively and avoid confusion or misunderstanding. In addition, meaning and context are important in everyday communication because we are constantly adapting the way we speak depending on who we are talking to. For example, we don't speak the same way to a friend as we do to a teacher or in a formal situation. So understanding meaning and context help us become better communicators. It allows us to recognize the speaker's intention and respond appropriately in different in different situations. Thank you.